front is where we does make me name.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Activated mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Welcome back, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is 8:07 here in St. Vincent and the Eastern Caribbean. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Ari, and with me is Christal, and we are activated mornings this morning. Before we get into our topic right now with our invited guests, I'd like to remind everyone that the Searchlight Weekend edition is now available, and the headlines are: Bangladesh beat Netherlands, sending Sri Lanka crashing out of ICC Men's T20 World Cup. Former Bangladesh captain pleased with Annesvale pitch. North Leeward Soca duo KTP and Viper have their eyes set on national soca stage. Renowned cultural icon Pilling Pollard dies. Man jailed for causing the death of a woman who fell from a height on her face. 2 Greg's women in prison for slashing teenager's face. Sharps man shot and killed on his way home. Tourism Minister promotes SVG as the Caribbean's best kept secret. Our root farmers to get $426,000 in income support. New Kingston Port can be delivered in May 2025, says PM. Duke takes on Prime Minister Gonzalez over alleged jab at Tobago. Debtor calls and Sons scalp national cycling titles. More sports opinions, Renrick, Dr. Fraser, Bassi, and so much more. Searchlight journalism you can trust online and at newsstands everywhere. Now, as some of you, not all, may know, June is Men's Health Month, and this week, Men's Health Week, from June 12th to June 18th, and again June 10th to June 16th, June 9th to June 15th, June 12th to June 18th, 2023, June 10th to June 16th, 2024, and it will be June 9th to 15th in 2025, would be Men's Health Week, where we wear blue and we speak about all things raising men's health awareness. We have joining us Dr. Megan Mangal, and I know Megan usually calls me because I pronounce her surname wrong.
And you do it again.
Was it
I
correct?
think you did it on purpose too.
Oh, we seem to not getting any audio from Megan at this moment. I wonder what's happening there. All right, we will get to that shortly. And we have with us again Dr. Drs Mandramootoo. So good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, St. Vincent.
So I'm wondering what's going on now.
Just give us a second, please.
Yes, I'm wondering what's going on here. Oh, it's not. So please bear with us as we try to figure out what is going on regarding the audio this morning.
Yeah, we're calling our favorite guy.
But as we
troubleshoot it.
As we troubleshoot this problem, both doctors are, I would say, heads of their own non-profits aimed at spreading awareness for many different areas regarding health, not just in the men's aspect. So Dr. Megan, she is the head of the Doctors for Change Global. So Dr. Megan, you mind telling us a bit about that?
That's right.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're able to hear you right now.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm Dr. Mangal. It's like a man and a gal, Ari. For the
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's how it's pronounced?
Yes. So I'm
That's
complete within myself, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm Dr. Mangal, and I'm the founder of Doctors for Change. We were first Doctors for Change St. Lucia, but then as we branched out, we did programs in St. Martin and the US, so we became Doctors for Change Global. And then maybe one day we'll do something in Vinci as well, so then that will help us reach our global audience. And pretty much what we are, we just foster patient education and family education as well, because we feel that education is the key to good health. So when you know something, when you're aware of it, then you're able to achieve it. So that's what we mainly focus on.
Facts, facts. All right, awesome.
And okay, so we seem to be having some issues with Dr. Madramootoo. Okay, it may be a connection issue, so maybe it'll get better as the
I
interview
think I hear
progress. Okay,
something.
yeah, so it is. Yeah, it seems to be some connection issues on
Yeah.
her end, so we'll allow her to sort out what those issues are. So, Dr. Mangal.
Yes.
Okay, she's back. She's
Yes.
moving.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, better now? For some
Yes.
reason, we've been having really, really bad storms in Houston, and as soon as it gets kind of dark outside, the internet just shuts out. Like as soon as I don't know if that's a cue for them to cut it off, but as soon as the rain sets up, that is it. We've been having real bad weather recently.
Boy,
So-
this thing global.
Boy. So introduce us, tell us what the Zen Fem Care is and a bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Dr. Madramootoo. I'm an oncology researcher by day, but I'm a huge mental health advocate. I'm the founder and president for ZenFem Care. ZenFem Care is an organization based. We want to provide resources and care for women that deal with issues of mental health. However, in recognition for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, like we know that it is still very stigmatized in our male population, and we do want to branch out and at least give support to our men, because I mean, I don't think it's not, especially in the Caribbean. This is geared towards women in the Caribbean, and I think since it's a very taboo topic for both male and female population, I think it's important for us to branch off into, to give some kind of help and lend a helping hand to our brothers. I think that's important. So we're really a nonprofit organization aimed on providing care and resources to women in the Caribbean to ensure that they have the tools that they need to effectively do things, to pursue their goals, pursue and achieve their goals.
All right, so we have two medical professionals here this morning, and we're hoping that you guys can break down the various things that encompass health, especially as it relates to men, physical and mental.
Okay. I can start. So health is not just physical. Like I feel like when we think of health, we're like, oh, I feel well, I feel physically well. But it's not just physical, it's mental, it's social, it's a whole, it's holistic. And so it's not just the absence of illness, but the completeness of one's body. So and that is all various aspects. So your social health, your mental health, and your physical health, which is why we're discussing mental health today. So yeah.
Right.
Just to piggyback off of what Dr. Mangal said, I did a research for my dissertation where I looked at social interaction, the quality and quantity of interpersonal relationships, emotional health. We looked at depression, anxiety, hope, and optimism, and all of these actually played a role into how the life that a person lives. Looking at it from a geriatric point of view, it was actually financial health and economical health that actually was the precursor for positive emotional and mental health. Whereas in the younger population, for our population, it showed that interpersonal relationships was the precursor for high level of emotional and mental health. So I think as we go through life, it changes the reason for not the reason, but as we go through life, the influence on our health changes, and the reason behind us having this kind of feeling of fulfillment, it changes. It changes drastically. Mm-hmm.
As you're saying all of these things, right? The social health is terminology is pretty new to me, but it makes a lot of sense because I know, like, we joke around, oh, money will solve all my problems. It makes so much sense now. Yeah.
Because
Let's continue. That's what I was going to say.
because when I looked at the old, because my study was based on individuals 65 and above. When you looked at them, the ones that did have like high level of anxiety and depression and stuff like that were the ones that didn't really prepare for older age in the socioeconomic portion of it. Because now you have the time, but you don't have the resources to enjoy it. So now you don't, like, you're gonna be sad all. I mean, if you look at it, you're gonna be in the house and sad all the time. And and the individuals that was traveling all the time and enjoying their retirement were happier than the ones that couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Likewise, when it came to interpersonal relationship, I think that us, like, as young adults, I think we value relationships a lot. We value friendships a lot.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah. After young adults, you cut out for a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. We value like relationships and friendships a lot, but it was proven that when you're older, you value quality over quantity. But I think now, we're learning now to in this new generation, we're learning that quality is better than quantity. Back then, I don't think that was the case. So I think now we're kind of gauging and acknowledging these things earlier on, so we will be better prepared for when we get to that age.
Let's narrow it down to men and how this relates to men.
Well, yeah, since it's Men's Health Day, I'm disappointed that Ari doesn't have his blue when he told me he was going to wear blue because
I'm
today's
wearing
World
blue. Both of us, we have on blue jeans in studio this morning. We're wearing blue.
I would have liked, to show you. Like, you could
But,
see
and my shoes blue. My shoes
Yes,
blue.
men blue.
Make sure y'all take a picture and tag us later on, huh?
I can't take a picture of my bottoms,
Of your legs.
My legs, yeah. This is the top. Yeah. Well, it's company colors,
Yes.
We wear company wear on Fridays. Yeah.
So, as it relates to men.
So, men, I think, and then using piggybacking off of my doctor here, that men is most likely they're more important because men need those interpersonal relationships more so than women. And women, it's easier for us to have make friends. We go down the road, we see someone, we're like, oh, I love your blouse, and then all of a sudden we're besties. As a man, men would greet everyone, yes, but they don't have that interpersonal connection that they need for long-term support. And that is why men's mental health is very important, because the stigma is a man should be strong, a man should be able to do everything on his own. Whereas it's not, like, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to support, have your counterpart, your partner support you. So if something's bothering you, come home and speak to her. But a man would never do such because they feel weak, and that's because of how society has framed how a man should be, and it shouldn't be that way. It's okay. We're all human. We all go through the stresses of life, and we should all have an outlet to release. So, and another thing is that most times when men are facing mental issues, whatever it may be, depression, anxiety, it's expressed differently. So it's expressed like anger, as substance abuse, as aggression, and we're just like, oh, this man is violent, and then we tend to stay away from him even more so. Whereas that's his call for help. So
instead of creating that safe space for them.
Pardon?
Right. Could you recap that? We tend
that safe space.
Yes.
Everyone pulls away from them because of how they're exhibiting these behaviors. So again, going back to what you said before, education is the key. Knowing these signs and stuff, acknowledging these signs and stuff, that's the key. I think educating our entire society is
that's the only way. Because if you don't
Mm-hmm.
know, then ignorance is not always bliss. We have this mindset that ignorance is bliss, but it's not. So the more that you educate, so now that I know that aggression is a characteristic of or symptom of mental health, right? And then now I will look out for it, and I'm like, oh, okay, so my brother is expressing aggression because of he's probably going through something. Whereas now I'm not just like, oh, he's just upset, And so that mindset now helps them to create a safe space, create an environment where you can foster the love and support that they need.
All right. So I'm hoping that we could tackle the stigma, since you brought it up, the stigma attached to men in society seeking treatment, because we do see generally that men don't really lean on doctors when it comes to physical health, much less mental health.
Right.
Because I can even talk for myself. A few years ago, I got a burn. It was a crazy burn, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'll just throw water on that. I'm fine. My partner at the time was telling me, no, you need to go to the hospital. I was like, go to the hospital for what? There's just some water on it. It'll be fine. I indeed needed to go to the hospital.
So in that moment, why did you feel that you were fine? What made you within yourself feel that you were fine?
Testosterone.
I felt like it was a
You
scratch.
know, I really think it's just like a men mentality that society told them they have to be strong. So they're like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
strong. This is just a little burn, like it'll go away if I ignore it.
I
Yeah,
think
basically.
I think there's
Basically.
that fear of them being the fear. It's in I think it's in their head though. The fear of them
Yes.
emasculate, like feeling emasculated. And then I
Mm-hmm.
also think in the Caribbean, since
Oh,
it's
it's
still a very
worse.
taboo topic, I think there's that lack of confidentiality because you know how it is in the
Mhm.
Caribbean. You can go speak to a therapist and they go home and tell their family, oh, guess who came this? There's that lack of
Mhm.
confidentiality, and then there's a lack of accountability when that confidentiality is broken. So now
Mhm.
I don't feel safe coming to professionals for treatment and intervention because I don't know if my business will be on the street.
Mhm.
Right.
But then conversely, in places like the US where they're resourced and that confidentiality and HIP and everything that are in place, men from Caribbean backgrounds still do not seek treatment because of the fear of what their family will think. So again,
Mhm.
it comes back again to the family being educated on the topics and being able to support the men. So I think it is a whole lot of different reasons why they would not seek treatment because given up whether or not they're going to be feel emasculated, there are other things that go with it. You know, there's
Yeah.
that fear of how your family because you don't want to be the madman in the family. You know, because
Mhm.
back in the days there was so much ignorance surrounding the topic.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So where if someone shows any sign of any mental incapability or something like that, it might just be a slight anxiety attack or like, you know, and
Something small.
they might just be labeled as the madman in the family. Oh, he's
Yeah.
mad. And nobody wants to really have that name pinned on
Attached to them.
attached
Right.
to them. So I think
Mhm.
that's one of the big issues is like back again what you said. Once you educate the older generation, because now we're taking a better step, we're taking a different path. I think we're doing a better job.
Right. Right.
Our
I think
generation and acknowledging it, seeking the help that we need, regardless of what anyone else says. But I think it's still educating the older generation because we
so.
also
Mhm.
need them to support our men.
Right. Right.
Okay. A question, right?
Mhm.
This has popped up from time to time. So a woman has so she's educated herself in terms of being aware of what men's mental health means and some of the symptoms and signs, right? But the partner or the male that she's communicating with is not
Mhm.
really aware of these things.
Mhm.
So she is attempting to create that safe space, but there is a bit of a disconnect or a backlash. What does she do? Because sometimes it can get a little bit tedious and she might want to give up and stop communicating. But how should she tackle a situation like that and show
I
empathy as well?
I think men grow globally, and I'm going to be general and say this: men want three things out of a relationship or a partnership, whether it be a romantic relationship or friendship: trust, understanding, and empathy.
All
Am I
right.
right, Ari? Ari, you can let me know if I'm wrong
Yes,
because
you're going well.
Trust,
uh, I said trust,
understanding.
understanding, and empathy, right? So
Uh-huh.
once he feels that one, you approach him with the empathy, and then he feels the trust and he understands that you're coming from a place of love. I feel that he would, probably not in that moment, but within himself he would understand that, hey, she's really trying to help me. So once we don't, quote unquote, nag them to death and tell them, hey, you need to go to the doctor, you need to check on this, you need to make sure you do this, this, and this, whereas we take a different approach, as women we can help our men in society seek the treatment that they need. So it all like boils down to how you approach the situation. It's not what you do, but how you do it is what they say.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm.
think that, and it takes patience as well. Like it, from the first time, it's not gonna work out. Like, a man is headstrong. He's gonna be like, no, I don't need a doctor. I don't need to see these people. They just want my money. Whereas when you keep letting him know, and then say you'll go with him, sometimes they just want somebody to go with them. So and that goes for your male friends as well. Like, be supportive, be a brother, be a support, and say, hey, I'll go with you, we can go check it out together. And that's even not just for mental health issues, but just mental health in general. Like, if you're over 40, you're over 45, and you probably need to go to do a colonoscopy or prostate exams, make it a group thing, so we all laugh about it after, and that way, when one encourages the other, then they're more likely to go ahead and get the help that they need.
Another thing that you can do is
we're gonna stop you there, Dr. Mandramootoo. We have to take a quick commercial break, so we're just gonna stick a pin right there because there's much to unpack on this specific question. So we'll be back shortly after these messages.
It's back. Yes, the Instacash game Bingo is back. You asked for it, and the NLE is giving it to you. Bingo, where there's a chance to win up to $6,000. There's also the new Instacash game Hot Numbers, with 5 chances where you can win up to $8,000. Get your Bingo and Hot Numbers Instacash games at all Lotto agents. Instacash, where there's no waiting in line. You can win on the spot. Instacash, so easy to play.
Do you spin a dial to make a call on your rotary phone from the 60s?
No.
Are you driving an unreliable and risky automobile made in the 1900s?
Of course not.
Are you still fiddling with an antenna to get good signal on your black and white television from the 20s?
Really?
Then why are you still stuck in the past, sitting on an unintelligent 1930s design toilet? That's right, 1930s design. What does your bathroom say about you? Don't get left behind. The future is now. Be smart. Be progressive. Get yourself a smart toilet seat or a complete toilet today. You can visit the My Smart Toilet Seat office on the 3rd floor of the Blue Corner building opposite the old Anglican School on Bay Street. Our smart toilets are also available throughout St. Vincent at retail outlets with the orange flags. For more information, you can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website, justwashit.vc.
Whether you're ripping it up on the highway or taking a casual Sunday drive, OT Tire Limited is second to none when delivering excellence at reasonable prices. We offer new and used tires, tire repair and installation. We are the only place that offers nitrogen, which helps with gas consumption and ride comfort. Supplying you with brand name tires like Maxxis, Kumo, Good Ride, Westlake, and Triangle.
Boom! Enjoy the VIP style customer waiting lounge with refreshments and free Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying, yo? This is Skinny Fabulous, and when it comes to tires, nobody makes it easier than OT. Got me run the road when the OT car tire.
Follow OT Tire on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter today.
Hey, boom, run the road with OT tires.
This moment is all that I've been dreaming of. Well, focus. Join the vibes for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in the Party Stand. Enjoy live performances by top artists, the hottest DJs, and so much more. Get your tickets today from Korea City Store, Kingstown. ICC Men's T20 World Cup, the vibes in the Party Stand. It's gonna be out of this world. Get your tickets now.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Welcome back, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is 8:30 here in St. Vincent and the Eastern Caribbean. And if you're just joining us, you're listening to Ari. And with me is Christal, and we are Activated Mornings this morning. And this morning we're discussing men's health with Drs Mangal and Dr. Drs Mandramootoo. Now, before we went to commercial break, Christal asked a very interesting question, which is, how do women show empathy when dealing with a partner who doesn't have, and I'll paraphrase, the knowledge about how to deal with their health, both mental and physical.
And perhaps self-awareness.
And self-awareness.
Yeah. So Dr. Madramootoo,
Mhm.
right, was going to add to the response. So you can go ahead, please.
I think as women, we're very intricate individuals. We pay a lot of attention to details. I think, like if your partner comes home and he's always stressed from something, you can tell when he's in a bad mood. You can tell when he's being stressed. You can tell as a woman. You can tell. I think these are intrinsic characteristics of women. I think eliminating some of the stressors and triggers can actually help him to the point that he might not need to go full on into therapy until it gets to that point. So if your partner comes home and he's really stressed, maybe you might be happy if you cook him a good meal or give him a massage or something. These are different things that you can do to eliminate those stressors and those triggers. So I think that kind of helps in creating that safe space too, because now there's that built-in that trust, because he's going to be like, oh, she sees that I'm really stressed and she's trying to release this stress. Now if you come to him and you try to tell him, well, babe, I think it's time you go to therapy, I think it's going to come from he's going to take it from a better place, because you've tried already, you've done your womanly duties already. So I think not only attacking it head on, but trying to eliminate and the stressors and triggers.
All right. So I'd like us to look at this from the opposite end. So given that I am the only man in the room this morning, I would like to think that I have the learned perspective outside of the doctors and, of course, Christal.
You could have called Kieran, I don't know, for some backup.
But when you speak to men, especially now that we have the internet at our fingertips, there are a number of ways in which we become, and experience, of course, there are a number of ways in which we become more emotional aware or emotionally intelligent. And I was looking at a TikTok recently where a lady had posted, and I always lean to this because it's one of the common topics that I would have with my friends and other men. She said, when you're speaking to a man and he's speaking and he pauses, allow him to finish, because usually he's just pausing to finish his thought. But you would think that he's pausing because the sentence is over. So then you now start speaking. And I have experienced it on numerous occasions where I would pause, but I have more to say. But then when you begin speaking, it's like, doesn't make any sense. And the lady was saying, once you allow that man to finish his thought, then he becomes more comfortable with you. Then you hear what he really thinks, how he really feels, and then you are able to guide him. So now when I am emotionally intelligent, and this is outside of relationships, well, inclusive of relationships, whether it is a family member, an aunt, your mother, your friend, how do women then allow men to have that safe space to let them know this is how I am feeling, so that they in turn can provide guidance?
So you're saying, how can a woman?
The same question that Christal asks, but in
Right.
reverse, because Christal is saying if the man isn't aware and the woman is aware, but in this situation, the man is aware and the woman isn't aware.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to communication again.
Mhm.
I think it's communication and the active listening, not to just listening to understand, not listening to respond. Because
Right.
we women have this thing, and we do it with our friends all the time. We just talk. But I think listening to understand, and then taking the time to think and internalize what is being said, and then responding, not trying to just respond right away. It comes down to all of these things that we learn in our primitive years. Like we learned that growing up, you need to listen, you need to communicate properly. I think all of this plays a role in how we react as adults to certain things.
Dr. Mangal? Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and Dr. Madramootoo, am I saying it correctly? So yeah, just to pick it back off of her, she's very correct. So also we can also offer physical affection, because in that moment sometimes all you need is a hug. And it's also important to ask the person what they need. So you be like, do you want me to help you come up with a solution? Do you just want me to listen? Do you want us to dive into it together? There's different aspects, and it's always important. And as adults, like, ask for what you want and ask what you need. So it goes both ways. So if Ari needs something, he'll ask me, and then I'll be like, so do you need this as well? It's a back and forth communication. It has to go this way for it to work, you know.
Mhm.
And that's the only way that it can have that environment that he would need to feel safe and to continue coming with those issues that he's
Mhm.
facing.
No, this is between man and woman, and not
Mhm.
necessarily romantic relationship, but
Right.
like general friendships as well. What
Friendships.
about how can a man support another man with his mental health?
I think it's actually easier for another man to support another man than a woman it is for a woman to support a man, because men have that bro
Yeah.
code that, you know, they're very non-judgmental. Men are very non-judgmental individuals, and
I agree.
because of that, they feel safer to go to their friends before they go to their partner or female friend. And so that's why it's important for us as women to also make friends with other men, just so we can understand it. We can have our eyes and our ears open, so then
I'm
we
gonna cut that
can
out. I'm gonna cut
signal.
that out. Could you repeat that, please? Could you repeat that, please? Say it loud for the people in the back.
But yeah, it's very true that, you know, we need to all try to be actively like, yeah, I can teach you everything that you need to know, but if I don't actively want to learn it and actively apply it to see how I can help my male counterpart or friend or bro or whatever you want to call the individual, then it's not going to work out. So you have to literally have that mindset that, hey, I want to make sure that I help these men in my community feel safe, feel better, and
Mhm.
that's the only way it's going to work.
And then
Male
all
friends.
and then also their preference too, because I think tailoring an approach to a person for their specific preference will make them more acceptable to the information,
Exactly.
because some people might not want to talk, they just want to text, maybe that's their
Right.
preference, you know. I'm just saying
Right.
some men might prefer group to be with their groups when they're having these interventions. Some might just prefer to be an individual session. So I think understanding what that person needs and tailoring it for their preference also will help with the receptiveness of it.
Yeah, I think we should be all like flexible to each other's needs. Yeah, I think
Yes, yes.
that's the word. Yeah,
Understanding what is it,
flexibility.
because one size doesn't fit all. You know this, it doesn't fit all. So knowing what that person wants, that individually will help them, and then working with them in that way, that
Mm-hmm.
works. I think that will be a better way to approach it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, doctors, I know both of you are well traveled. Dr. Mangal, you're now in St. Lucia. Dr. Madramootoo, you're in the United States. Can you provide statistics involving men's mental health, both locally, regionally, and internationally? Are you in that position?
Uh-huh. So in the US, it's about 19.7% of men that actually have some type of mental illness between the years of 2008 to 2022. But about 17% of them have seek treatment, which is I think that's a good number. To
Coming
me, I think
from
that's a good number in comparison. 17% seeking treatment, 90% with issues, a little 2% off. I think that's a decent number given from where we came from, where these people treatment were not being accessed and they're not being used.
Mhm.
In comparison, where I tried to do some research for the Caribbean region, it's understudied or
Exactly.
poorly addressed. That's one of
Mhm.
the things that I learned out the back, because one of the things that we're planning for ZenFem here, because I've been doing research for many, many years. We want to do a whole nation Caribbean wide study on mental health to know the preference and stuff like that. So I was doing the background research, and there is almost no research, no information, no data.
Yeah.
And I
Very.
think that's one of the biggest issues. There's no data on stuff like that.
Hmm.
Wow.
Sadly.
But
Yeah.
Like I
I
think I
think that's
found
the
like
case
one
in
study
most.
or something like that. I think I found one study that was done in Jamaica.
Yeah, I think if you want to get info on, you usually get for Jamaica, Trinidad, and then that's about it.
And that's
Like,
it. So that's why
yeah.
me and
It could
Dr.
be
talk after this too, because we're trying to do a whole inter-Caribbean kind of study to get this information out. At least some more resources can be spent on men's mental health and
Mhm.
women's mental health, because it's
Mhm.
very understudied and is poorly addressed in that
Yeah.
region.
okay. It could be that some studies are done, but they're not like published, so the results are not easily accessible. So you
Yeah.
might go
And I,
through. a lot of things to get
Yeah,
it.
but I think it needs to be published for it to actually like make like a huge
And
difference for people.
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah,
don't
that's true.
understand. How is it that we have all these universities within the Caribbean region where scholars would post their journals, but we don't have research on Caribbean related social issues or issues in general?
I think also it's lack of funding, like we're a smaller population as compared to the US, so we don't have much of the resources that we need. And then you have to have a really, really, really good thing that you want to look into to get the funding that you need to do the research, and then for that research to be published. And not all research gets published because not all of it makes
It meets the
conclusive
criteria.
sense. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
All right, so we were getting some calls there. So callers, feel free to contact us. 457-9997 is the number to call. The number to WhatsApp 457-9997 as well, where you can also place calls. And we're live on YouTube and Facebook at WEFM 99SVG. So, given that there is rarely research on the topic, who can men really reach out to for support?
well, in St. Lucia and in the Caribbean, we have a lot of suicide hotlines. So if you're feeling depressed and anxious or whatever, you can call the hotline. So St. Vincent, I actually looked up the number just so I could say it for you guys. It's 784-456-1044. So anybody out there listening, just give them a call. I tried it myself from St. Lucia and it works. So if it works from St. Lucia, then it's gonna work in St. Vincent for sure. And for the Lucian population who's probably listening, it's 203. You just dial 203 and it goes straight through. There's always a therapist on call 24 hours. And if you're feeling anxious and you're close to an A&E or ER, whichever way you call it, go ahead, just go in, let them know someone will be there to help you. That's literally our jobs, what we do. So it's not a burden. Don't feel like you're burdening anyone. And if you don't want to go that far, but you reached out to a friend or to a colleague, that friend or colleague, now you can help them to take it further to get professional help. So it just goes down to us being mindful and seeing how we can be good friends and good partners to help out the men in our lives.
And to
Let's take a
advocate
call
for them.
quickly. Oh, what to do?
Yes, take it-
Let's
take
take
it
a quick
quickly.
call.
Sure.
Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah. Oh, we have a minute, huh?
Eh,
We have just a minute.
Yeah, but that's so much to unpack there. But I think this is something like an academic exercise here, right? I think we need to be more explicit. Well, not for radio, not to say certain things on radio is right, but the matter we're dealing with, I think there's still a lot to be covered with as individuals in different relationships. This is great study, and I have a lot to share because sometimes I think we are not tackling the issue as we ought to. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. So unfortunately, we are out of time. But is there anything that you would like to leave with our listeners this morning, Dr. Mangal and Dr. Madramootoo?
Dr. Madramootoo can go because I was just speaking. I don't want to.
Okay. I just want the men out there to know that we're here to support them in anything that they need. Find a friend, find someone that you trust. A quick conversation can fix so much. It can change a lot of things. Just lean on, no man is an island. Lean on someone. Whether it's your mom, your dad, lean on someone. Find someone you can trust and just have a conversation with them. You're feeling down, you have your safe person. Just make sure you find a safe person.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think
we all need that.
And I think we should all be safe people.
And we should all
That
learn
way-
how to be safe because some people do not
Yes.
know how to be
Very
safe.
true.
People.
That's very
Yeah.
true.
So
Yeah.
find a safe person, find your person, and when the world gets too heavy, you know what to do. You call your person.
Mhm.
All right. So if you don't mind sharing with us the social media tags for your nonprofits, Doctors for Change Global and Zemfem Care.
Mine at sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry. No problem.
Zenfem Care at Zenfem Care on Instagram.
And
And our
we're-
website will be up very soon.
Nice.
All right.
And we're at Doctors for Change Global. There's an S, Doctors for Change Global on Instagram. So go ahead and make sure you tag us in your blue, please.
All right. Thank you, doctors, for joining us this morning for this important topic. It was well informed and it was a pleasure having you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye. All the best.
Bye-bye.